What's good, y'all? Bro, we gonna be cooking on the first long form YouTube video. So hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all feeling blessed with breathing. If you're watching this, hope you're healthy. Hope fam's good. Hope your finances is good. I hope you're holding on. But we gonna get right into it. Let's get it. So we making some breakfast. I haven't eaten yet. I already been up. Been doing some work on my computer. Got some steps in on my walking pad. But staple for me, at least the last few weeks, have been eggs, mixture of like pasteurized eggs, egg whites, and pancakes. It's just what I've been feeling. So we're gonna get right into it. We have eggs right here. Gonna crack them real quick. To be honest, this is gonna be a little bit of like a yap session. We're just gonna vibe, watch me cook some delicious food, and just talk. All right, so we here, but something that's been on my mind that I want to share, ironically, is mindset. I feel that sometimes, especially as we start to age, we misconstrue balance. And especially when I was younger, I used to always think about, I need to achieve this balance. Like middle school, high school, even college, like balance was going to be what the utopia or the perfect life kind of thing. And the older I get, the more I realize it's rhythm. It's definitely a rhythm. I think I'm locked in on this right now. I think that with that balance, it's just a false sense of reality. Like, I'll put it like this, for any of my hoopers or just people that play sports, but let's use basketball for example. The difference between balance and rhythm. Balance, or this perfect idea, is everybody on the court is going to get one dribble, pass it off, somebody gets a layup, and we just think that's going to happen for 4 quarters. Rhythm is, let's say I'm the point guard or the facilitator. I get into my mode, I size up, I know I have a mismatch, and I can beat him off the dribble. I beat him off the dribble, I pass to Tim in the corner. Tim is hot for the first quarter, he hits like 5 threes. Okay, that's playing within the rhythm. He's the hot hand, feed him the ball. Let's say the second half, the other team adjusts, and with that adjustment, they close out, and now they're forcing him to put the ball on the ground, and that's not his game. Now he starts turning the ball over, or he starts missing a bunch of shots. So now the rhythm is get the ball back in the facilitator's hands, let him create, maybe he has to score, and he can dominate the second and third quarter. You get my gist as far as rhythm. So I think we have to look at it like that, especially if you're on the grind, even if you're just, I wouldn't want you to be just content or comfortable. We're living, we have a chance to, better ourselves, better our family, provide, whatever the case is. But with that, I would hope that you understand that there's not this idea of perfect balance. It's not a thing. Work-life balance, to be honest, isn't a thing. You may just be locked in on a certain phase, need to execute and get a certain time frame, then you are with the family and you detach, you disassociate. If you're still ruminating and you're not as present, people around you are going to feel it. So I say that to say, not to get distorted, not to just be like, hey, I'm choosing the other side, I'm not going to do anything, and I'm going to just sit in the corner. Like, no. Be in the game, be involved, be engaged, execute, do your thing. But that's just something that's been on my mind. Let's get back to the cooking. So we got the eggs, about to dump them into, I'm bugging. I didn't even get the peppers, nothing. Hold up. All right, why does it look so bland? But yeah, that's definitely been on my mind. It's very easy, especially as you're trying to elevate and grow, to yearn for that balance. And I feel like the closer you're starting to yearn to that balance, the more that you're, I don't want to say dying, but the more you're probably not in a space that you need to be. So something to take with you on that. And to be honest, that really goes into a lot of other things and areas in your life as well. If you're looking for this perfect situation, I talk about it as I train people online and I had in person for a very long time. If you're looking for this ideal, okay, I'm going to be able to have 52 weeks out of the year meal prepped, and I'm going to be able to do this, not to bash on certain individuals or whatever the case is, but especially this age of information and access is the craziest that we've ever had. It's how do I optimize my VO2 max, and how do I optimize my morning routine and sleep schedule. And the reality is, like, every single day or every single week out of the year, will it be that way? Probably not. And the thing is, you also have to have an understanding or a level of neutrality to where you give yourself grace in that. Now, that doesn't mean just, let it go to crap and just not care about those things. Like, no, structure and systems are definitely going to help pay dividends, and they're going to honestly help you when you're in those rhythms to really stay locked in and focus and execute. But it goes back to the balance part. You have to be real with yourself. You have to either really map it out to where if that's something that is that much on your hierarchy or your prioritization, then you will find a way to get it done. But if it's really not, and you track it and you see over time that you don't actually get it done, then you really show yourself what it really was. You know what I'm saying? So remember that. It coincides with so much. But even piggyback into following this, kind of concept, it just goes hand in hand with nutrition, how you take care of yourself. Figure out your rhythm. Only you know your rhythm. You know your schedule. You know where you want to be. You know what you don't want to be doing, and it's subject to change. Now, obviously, if it's always changing and you don't track it, then you're not going to really know where you're going. It's just like you're lost on a map, But I look at it as there's multiple ways to track or see the evidence. You literally can track it by writing it out, utilizing a platform, utilizing an app, your notes section, whatever the case is. But you also can kind of tell from your surroundings and your environment too, when you are in the spaces you want to be in or not be in. People around you, like I said, are going to feel it. And if you're doing it all by yourself, you're your own company. You're going to feel it too. You're going to feel burnt. You're going to feel drained, things like that. And that's why I always like to get other opinions, especially training for a while like I have, and especially in person. It's one thing when you're learning and you, of course, I speak for myself, but I feel like I would hope a lot of people are lifelong learners, but I enjoy learning. But with that also comes application. But even with the learning and application, when you're in your own head and you only see your own perspective in your own ways, you may be missing out on potential opportunities that can help you grow. So no matter where you are, whatever phase, I always advise not bringing too many chefs in the kitchen, pun intended, but definitely getting outside perspectives, because they can maybe see blind spots or be able to kind of give a good expert opinion, if you will, on what they're seeing, where you can elevate. And these are the things that can help you fine tune that rhythm. This is going to be a consistent rhythm no matter, what you're doing, whether it's for what you want or if it's not for what you want. It's going to be inevitable. And it's your job to be able to have the wherewithal, the bandwidth, and the vision to see if it's on the pace or track you want it to be on, or if it's not. So definitely something to take heed to. And you gotta think about it. We have all these, like I said, back to the access of information, all these gurus and all these people and spreading of information, and it's a great thing and roadmap, but it's still, like I said, your life. So with you and your experience and you tracking these things, you're going to be the best person to figure out what that is. So figure out what that rhythm is for you. But I will say, just looking and planning and not doing is also going to have you with no rhythm. You have no motion, no nothing. So get to moving while you're also trying to cultivate that and give yourself grace as it's adjusting. I also say that to say, not moving is not an option. I think people think that they are moving as much as they say they do when they're not. And when I mean by moving, I mean like physical, like health and movement. I get it. A lot of us have sedentary jobs. Shoot, I've worked a few years at a sedentary job, and the majority of my jobs have been on my feet, moving around. I've been in healthcare for almost 9 years, so definitely been more on my feet But with that, going back to the rhythm, you know your schedule. You should already account for, okay, I know I'm gonna be sitting for 9 hours, so can you wake up like an hour or half an hour earlier and get up and get some steps, go outside, get some sun? Bet. Maybe the sun's not even up, you gotta wake up at 4 or 5 o'clock, so be it. But in turn, do you feel like you have more energy throughout your workday? That's something to track, that sounds pretty positive. Or, hey, I have a 45-minute lunch break. There's pavement, there's concrete outside your job, right? Can you not walk during your lunch break for 20 minutes and get extra steps? Do it. Okay, wait, you finished work, you work from home in a sedentary job, and it's 6:30. You can't go outside and walk for another 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So like little just bouts of exercise and movement, I promise you, is going to pay dividends in whatever you do. It's going to have you thinking clearer. You're going to have more energy. Your mood's probably going to be better, especially if you get some sunlight around, more vitamin D. But I definitely would advise doing that. And what I meant by people thinking they're doing more than they are, you got to think about it. There's 168 hours in a week. So without going through the whole breakdown of like, this is how much you work, this is how much you sleep, even though you should do that for yourself. This is where you spend all your time. This is when you spend time with family. Like, this is when you cook. This is when you're driving. Like, going through all of those things, there's still 4 to 5 hours for you to be able to lift weights and move. Point blank, period. Access or not. And I've worked with both spectrums where, hey, you only got a 5x5 space, you got no equipment, you got to work with body weight, or I got the cream of the crop, like different country, some outer space looking gym equipment. Like, we all can find that time frame. And if you don't, but you're doing 0, if you do even 1 out of those 5 hours, it's more than you're doing right now. Theme, once again, is just continuously coming back to rhythm, figuring it out, tracking it, making iterations, giving yourself grace, but making sure that rhythm is leading to execution and doing what you want and what you desire, what you speak of. So that's just for movement. Same thing with food. I can't really cook or meal prep. Find a meal prep service. Or you know what? If you know you can cook even a little bit, find recipes you got to just put in the oven. It'll take you 15 to 30 minutes to prep. You don't really have to touch it. Maybe mix it up once, put it in the oven, leave it for whatever amount of time, 30 minutes, 2 hours, food's done. I think I'd rather go with that and know exactly what the food that I'm putting into my mouth, I know what ingredients are going into it, rather than just let me go to this place and get this for the 5th night in a row. It's a busy schedule. That can work for you. That may not be everybody's circumstances to be able to meal prep or have that time. I get it. It still comes back to figure out what works for you. But also at the same time, if you say you really want to get in shape, you want to track it, you want to feel better, whatever the case is, I think it makes more sense for you to visually be able to see it, visibly be able to track it. You don't necessarily know how much oil they're putting in that recipe at the restaurant or at that fast food chain or whatever. You're not really checking the calories or the quantity or whatever the case is. You're just more mindful because you're going through the action itself. It's almost the same thing as when you have an idea and the idea is cool. We all have endless ideas, but when you actually write it down, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you put the pen to paper and now it sticks, or now it's something that you gave life. It's the same thing, I think, when it comes to all these other things I'm talking about, but even food. It's like you're visually seeing it now. You're actually putting it on a plate. Maybe instead of counting calories, you want to use hand portions. And you see like, okay, well, I used to have like 5 hand portions of protein within 1 or 2 servings. And I'm like, that may have been too much food, and just these things are ingraining a habit, then you're going to see if you like it, then it's going to help you form systems, and the systems are going to lead to the execution and getting to your desired results. You feel me? All right, but that's all I got as far as the theme. I'm going to circle back with y'all the end result when this plate is done, but appreciate y'all here, appreciate y'all listening. I'm gonna get even clearer and whatnot. Or maybe I'm gonna just continue to yap because I can talk. I have a bunch of experience, a lot of ideas. And yeah, just let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.